Okay. So I am struggling at this point and I'm trying not to give up. And if you're like me and you're a small creator, small content creator, especially in a niche space that's not necessarily one that a lot of people know about or typically would look at for virality and stuff like that, I can only imagine you're probably thinking the same thing. Now, why did I come to YouTube in the first place? So when I started YouTube a few years ago, it was primarily just to share some of my sewing videos, share my shower cap because I have a shower cap and hair bonnet business, and just, like have videos that I can reference my shoppers to if they ever had any questions about the bonnet and shower cap. Now, over time, I've had questions about how do you make this? How do you do this? So I started posting some videos. And since I have also increased my interaction and all of that stuff. Like I find myself buying more materials to kind of show different things, show different angles and different things like that. So did I start YouTube to get rich? The answer is no. And stay tuned because I will give you my current stats and what my goal is at the end of this. I'm putting myself on a 3-month plan, so I'll share some of that as we go along. But when YouTube came out with the new requirements a few days ago, well, last week, Monday now, so I guess a little over a week, I literally felt so deflated. And the primary reason I felt deflated is because I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to ever monetize. Monetization to me is more an accomplishment. It's just the same way like when I was on TikTok, when I hit the 10,000 followers, like I'm not looking to get rich from that. Like I got the 10,000 followers, and in the entire time since I have been there on TikTok, and granted it's been like a little over 2 weeks, I've made 2 cents. 2 cents. Okay. So this is not a get rich quick thing for me. It was more a growth thing, an opportunity to share videos. And then when I get there, do a little more, right. And be able to buy fabrics and different things. Okay. So kind of like y'all are feeding into my addiction, but that is neither here nor there. Like, I just feel like when that new goal was set, it made me feel a little deflated. It made me wonder, am I ever going to get monetized? And right now, I don't know. So I've been running the numbers, and every day, and this is the thing, like YouTube does this 360-day thing where it counts, it does the counts or does the watch hours over the last 365 days. So I find myself looking at stuff and then saying, oh, it says one thing, and then I go back and one day. So let me give you an example. 2 days ago, I had 1,267 watch hours on my YouTube, and I was like, okay, so that's kind of what I plugged into their AI tool, and I was like, okay, so this is what I have. How do I continue to grow? How do I grow that? Well, yesterday I went in and I had 1,265, and now I understand how 365 days work. So I know maybe like at some point I had a higher number of people on the 365th day watching, way back when, 365 days into the past. But then next thing I know, today I woke up and the number is now down to 1,260. So I'm just like, holy smokes, I am going in the completely opposite direction. And it's hard not to feel discouraged when I see those numbers, because I'm not gonna lie. And then the other thing is like, I can't really see my progress immediately, because even though I've been sharing my channel on my other social media sites, YouTube, for me anyways, I know this is not necessarily for everybody, but for me anyways, it is 5 days behind. So the data I am looking at today, and I'm just looking this way because my computer screen is that way, the data I am looking at right now is as of August 13th. I know that there are people who already have their data as of August 15th or August 16th. My data is as of August 13th, and with a little over, I think I have 1,594 followers. 96 as of a few moments ago. Thank you to whomever just followed me. And looking at my watch hours. So basically to do that, I'm going through my analytics and my overview. Like the data I'm looking at right now and what they've updated for me was as of August 13th. So for me, I just feel like, okay, I don't know that I'm going in the right direction. I feel like I am literally going in the opposite direction, and it's hard not to just feel discouraged. So the things that I have done and I plan to do going forward, I am committed to them, so I plan to continue with them. So and I talked about this during my last live. One of them was posting at least three as opposed to two videos. So I'm gonna go. I want to try to go do four. So one will be like a regular video, like a long form video, and all of them. My goal is to make all of them over 10 minutes. Post one long form video, do my regular podcast that I do on Fridays, and then also do a live. So those are the things that like I had planned for those three, but then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I need to add one more. I kind of did the math, and YouTube is telling me I'm going to have to post approximately 400 videos, 400 and change additional videos, just to like given my current watch time, which is about 1 minute and 51 seconds. Not great. I know people usually say anything less than 2 minutes is just not good. But I don't know, right? I don't know. And I don't want this to be like a complaining thing. I'm just sharing with you what I'm trying to do and the changes I'm trying to make on my channel. So that was the first thing, doing like at least four kind of long form content each week, which would add up to a little over 40 minutes, because my goal is to make it at least 10 minutes for all of them, for each of those individual ones. And then my podcast and my live usually are about a half hour. So that kind of adds to it, or it helps with that. But at a 1.51 average, check-in watch time per video, that's how, I don't know how to read that. I don't think that's great, but I'm going to try anyways, and I'll continue going. It's discouraging, but I will keep going. So that's one. Number two, what I'm trying to do also is to use my social media more. I have a Facebook group that has a little over 1,500 followers, and I have a TikTok group. I don't really post YouTube on TikTok because TikTok will give you a violation in like 3 seconds. Like they literally just wait there, and you mention the word YouTube, and they're like, ha, violation. So I am trying not to do that. Okay, so my goal is to not. I had blood taken already. My goal is to not mention much about YouTube on that channel, because I just don't want to end up in a situation where I am struggling to even get out of TikTok jail. So that's my other bigger channel. That's where I have more of the viewers. So my other thing is to use Facebook more. So on my Facebook page, my business page, I have about 594 followers. On my group page, I have about a little over 15. Actually, it's about 1,700 followers on the group I manage. And then on my Instagram, on my business page, I have a little over 1,000. And then I have a few other pages, but most of them are just averaging like 100, 200, 300 followers. So that's not a lot. But so I will start doing more posts on those pages in hopes that would also drive curiosity, and more people will kind of watch the channel. My goal is like the more curious people are, it will encourage YouTube to kind of push the algorithm and push people to watch stuff. So that's where that one is coming from, right? The other thing I've done, which is based off of the suggestion by the AI tool on YouTube, is that I am also looking at some specific niche topics that YouTube thinks will be would kind of encourage people to watch longer. So I am pushing that out there and using that for videos. Unfortunately, like I only get to film videos like later on in the evenings or on weekends, so it's kind of hard to kind of keep doing all those. And the other thing too is like, depending on what kind of, if I'm not doing a live, if I'm actually filming a video, like I have to make sure that it makes sense. And I try to break it down to the simplest form so that whomever's watching it is able to see it and follow what I'm doing. So I don't want them to be confused or to be like, oh, how did she get from here to there? My goal is to share videos about sewing that people can follow, reference back later, and actually continue to grow in their beginner sewing journey. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But I am still using some of those topics, especially when it's one that I feel like, oh my God, my audience would totally love this. Or a beginner sewist, if I was a beginner sewist, I would want to know this. So that's kind of one of the other areas I'm doing. And then the other thing I am also doing is going back through my old videos. So YouTube, apparently you can revive an old video that you've watched, that you've posted a while ago. So updating the thumbnail, updating the titles, adding my playlist to the top of the description on those videos. I'm doing all of those things, and I'm hoping that it will make a difference. Although right now I can't tell. And the primary reason is that most of those changes were started last week, Wednesday. Wednesday, after I decided, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go hard, go big or go home, right? So I'm gonna go hard at this and see how far I can go by the month of October, following all these steps and what YouTube has suggested to me with its AI tools. So I am hoping that by, hold on, it's suggesting that I do a quiz or ask a question, so I will do that. So yeah, so I'm gonna just throw that up there if you're interested. So I'm gonna throw that there. Let me know if you have any favorite sewing projects. But yeah, so I am hoping that making those changes, maybe by tomorrow, I should start seeing it, since my videos are like 5 days behind or whatever. My updates are 5 days behind. Maybe I will see it at some point, and then I can see, okay, am I making progress in the right direction, or am I not making progress in the right direction? That's kind of where I am right now. I don't, I don't know what else outside of that. So if you're watching this and you have ideas, please share. And I know there are a lot of people, a lot of small creators right now who are probably feeling very discouraged, not sure what to do. And I am here to tell you that, you know what, we just have to keep going, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I am a firm believer in that. If you keep trying, at some point you will get it right, right? Mistakes are a way to kind of, what do you call it? Now, course correct, right? So if you make a mistake in one direction, and I tell this to my students when I'm teaching sewing, if you make a mistake, that's what a seam ripper is for. And then after you use a seam ripper, you don't not to do something like that next time, or you will pay extra attention. So I am hoping that by putting out more videos, doing more of these, maybe I'll learn a little more of what works for my audience. And I'll be honest and say, maybe I haven't really learned my audience in the past. So I'm hoping that by doing more of these, it will help encourage and move things forward. I personally don't plan on doing family style videos. I just don't think that I know for a fact I don't want to put my family out there. So it would primarily be anything that involves maybe just me, like maybe individual travel if I do that, or like just sewing videos. But my goal is to just keep going. Will it work? I don't know. My hope is that by October, I will be able to come back and say, okay, these are my results. This is how things have gone. This is what's going on. This is what I've noticed. And I'm hoping that at least by then I would have hit 3,000 followers. I mean, not 3,000 followers, but 3,000 watch hours. But I don't know. I know that my goal is 4,000 by the end of the year. And I'm hoping that whatever I hit by October, I'm going to be able to replicate it to continue to grow and increase in my watch hours. So this is just my video to talk about that. I think I will continue to talk about this topic because, one, it is near and dear to me and impacts me, and two, hey, if folks are going to watch it, hopefully they gain something or they learn something and can go from there. So right now I'm on YouTube Studio. I'm going to review it, see what changes may have occurred, and see what adjustments I can make moving forward. And if this really sounds interesting to you, please subscribe, share, watch, do whatever. And, even if you're listening to it in the background, that counts too. Keep the audio on though, because I read somewhere that YouTube also checks based on whether or not people are actually listening, active watching and actively listening to something. So I don't know if they're checking cameras. I'm hoping not, but who knows? With technology these days, things change so much. But thanks for watching. If you're still here and watch my rant, come back soon.